The train screeched to a halt at the nearest station, far from any urban stir. Daniel, a 27-year-old researcher freshly appointed by the Folklore and Cultural Society, stepped onto the deserted platform with his backpack slung across his shoulder. His first assignment: unearth the secrets of Guptgram, a village wiped off the map nearly 2.5 centuries ago. Locals whispered that Guptgram was cursed. Once thriving, it collapsed when villagers, lured by tales of hidden gold and precious stones, began disappearing, vanished without screams, without a trace. The last recorded inhabitant was a woman named Ratna, whose story was never completed. The path to Guptgram was rough, a narrow track winding through thick forests and sudden drops. Daniel had hired a local guide, Ratan, a wiry man in his 50s with sharp eyes that darted at every rustle. Guptgram is not welcoming after dusk, Ratan warned as they trekked. They say the village is still awake, but not with the living. Daniel smirked, jotting down notes. Ghost stories are always exaggerated. I'm here for facts. Legends have roots, and roots can be traced. But as the forest grew denser, even Daniel felt the air pressing heavier. By twilight, they stood before Guptgram. Crumbling stone houses leaned against each other like drunks. Moss and vines choked the walls. The temple bell tower had collapsed, yet an eerie clang echoed faintly, as if a bell still swung somewhere. Daniel felt his stomach tighten. "Do you hear that?" he asked. Ratan's face paled. "The bell hasn't existed for centuries." That night, Daniel set up his camp inside what looked like an abandoned schoolhouse. While Ratan refused to stay indoors, preferring the safety of the open clearing, Daniel dug through old manuscripts he carried. One line stood out. Ratna, the last voice of Guptgram, sought the jewels and never left. She calls the greedy, and they vanish into her silence. As the kerosene lamp flickered, Daniel heard it, a woman's voice, faint, lilting like a broken lullaby. "Gold, emeralds, come closer." He froze. The air turned icy. His lamp dimmed, though there was no wind. Then, a shadowy figure of a woman appeared at the doorway, her long hair dripping as if wet, her eyes hollow voids. "Who's there?" Daniel stammered, clutching his notebook. The figure stepped closer. "Ratna," she whispered. Over the next 2 days, Daniel noticed something sinister. Shards of glimmering stone appeared on the ground, like rubies, sapphires, emerald fragments, leading deeper into the forest ruins. Ratan refused to follow. "They lure you, Sahib." Many who bent to pick them never stood again. But Daniel, torn between fear and curiosity, collected one fragment. That night, he dreamed of Ratna. She stood before him in human form, beautiful, adorned with ornaments, but her eyes were pools of black. "They killed me for stones," she whispered. "They buried me alive. I was betrayed." Her voice cracked into a scream. "Now I will never leave." Daniel awoke, gasping, the stone still clutched in his fist. Blood dripped from his palm where it had cut into him, though the shard had vanished. Determined to uncover truth, Daniel pressed Ratan to guide him to the temple ruins. Beneath the rubble, they discovered a half-buried entrance. The air that poured out was damp, fetid, heavy with the smell of rot and iron. Torch in hand, they descended. Inside lay a chamber lined with skeletons, jaws open mid-scream, hands reaching toward a central pit. In the pit glittered countless stones, ruby red, emerald green, sapphire blue, piled unnaturally high. Suddenly, the chamber trembled. From the pit rose Ratna's spirit, her form half beautiful, half decayed, her ornaments fused into bone. "You see now," her voice thundered. "They wanted gold. They buried me to guard it. And I did." Her hollow eyes locked on Daniel. "You want it too." Daniel's chest seized. The stones pulsed like beating hearts, and he felt himself being pulled forward. His feet dragged against his will. Ratan leapt, grabbing Daniel's arm, chanting something in the old dialect of Guptgram. The chamber's air thickened, Ratna shrieking in fury. Then Ratan shouted above the chaos. She was not just a victim. She became the curse. Ratna was sacrificed by her own kin to guard the treasure, and her spirit binds all who covet it. The stones glowed brighter. Ratna's form swelled, towering, reaching for Daniel. With a final effort, Ratan hurled a copper amulet into the pit. The glow dimmed, the stones dissolved into dust. Ratna's scream shook the walls before collapsing into silence. Her figure flickered one last time, softer now, human once more. Tears ran down her spectral face. "Free, at last," she whispered, before fading into nothingness. Daniel and Ratan stumbled out as the chamber caved in behind them. The forest was unnaturally quiet, no bell sounds, no whispers. At the village's edge, Daniel looked back one final time. The ruins seemed smaller, less threatening. "Do you think it's over?" he asked. Ratan gave a grim smile. "She is freed, but greed never dies. If men come again, Guptgram will awaken." Daniel nodded, heart heavy. He had solved the mystery. Ratna's curse, her tragic betrayal, her restless guard over the jewels. Yet the chilling thought lingered. What if the curse was not bound to Guptgram, but to desire itself? As he boarded the train home the next morning, Daniel couldn't shake the feeling that the fragment of stone he once held had not truly disappeared. Somewhere in his bag he thought he heard a faint clink.